Here we go. Hey everybody, it's me, Max Farrell from DexFXMarkets.com here on the 27th of April. It's the Chris and Max show, if you will. We're going to be doing with Christophe Gagne here with me as well. Hi, buddy.
Hey, how's it going, Max?
Not too bad, my man. As you know, we've had a pretty crazy weekend. Lots of stuff happening as far as us building things and doing certain things. But also, the end of last week was a pretty crazy week for some, as you've probably seen in the Facebook group, right?
I didn't take a look.
Edit. Take two.
Yeah, sorry about that.
I don't even know if I should probably just leave that in there. Why not? Transparency.
Yeah, leave it. Oh yeah, leave it in. Well, for all those who are listening.
All right. Well, we know where Chris lies at.
Yeah. His
head's always in customer service appearing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, lots of stuff happened last week, Chris, with some traders having a tough time with the Xenon bot in that world. And it's been like, you've probably seen Thor's comments. Some of you that are watching seen Thor's comments in the system of, that he had a terrible week with the Xenon, but he made it up in the Dex Atomic system. Now, I want to inform all of you that are watching this. If you're a free member, you should be getting this video. You should be watching this video right now. And I'm going to be a little bit hard-handed with you, because if you came here thinking you were going to get a free system and not do any work, you were terribly mistaken. You might as well just go and cancel everything you're going to do with us. There is no free system here. There's a free system, there's free tools, but the tools are just going to sit there unless you pick them up and work with them. No carpenter in the world has ever bought a toolbox and put it on the deck and hope it built a house. Okay? Unless you know some magic tools, Chris. Maybe I don't.
No, it's pretty much standard.
Yeah.
You have to get in here and actually just use what's provided and get a feel for it. I mean, right. I talked with a couple of people. I didn't go on the Facebook page late in the week, but
right.
Talked with several folks on the phone, which is really what I enjoy doing.
That's where Chris's forte is. It's not watching Facebook. It's,
yeah.
It's apparently. So yeah,
no, I can barely spell Facebook.
Yeah, well,
but
I can spell it backwards. But
so I think the idea. I talked with a guy who's been trading options. He trades full time and just getting into Nadex, and he had some questions as well. So and then I know another gentleman just coming on board with Nadex, and so it's a different type platform for guys who trade Forex, but their questions, they get right in there and they get the demo account and they get rolling a couple questions, and then they're ready to roll. So to go back to your tool analysis, they're in there using it and getting used to our system.
Absolutely. If you're a free member and you want the most, everybody says, where should I start? Where should I start? Well, you start in the beginning. You start with training, okay? And that's the biggest thing. In the training on a training tab, as soon as you come to the Dex Effects, the Dex Atomic portal, okay? That's where you want to go. If you're a free member, you want to go to the Dex Atomic portal. You're going to shoot down here, and these 7 courses here, these 7 lessons have videos in each one of them. And why each one is so important right now is because from your intro to training to making a home business, those things, the tools, this is where it really gets you started to be set up. This is where it gets for you as a free member. This is where the crux is, right? This is the beginning part of learning the tools behind the process. And why are these tools so important? Well, because learning how to use the actual tools that are in front of you, learning how to use the support and resistance areas, knowing what the arrows really mean and how to utilize them to the best of your ability. Not just the tool of the charts, but also how to utilize Nadex's systems as well to better provide, if you will, the solutions you really need. And this is what it really comes back down to, is if you can't use the tools to engage with the system, then what you're doing is you're just throwing money out the door. If you can't learn how to use the tools that engage with Nadex and give you a safety, give you a safe environment to work with, then you might as well just throw money out the window. Learning how to trade in demo is important. I see this a lot of times. Well, Max, what's the difference between demo and live? Pretend money and real money. That's about where the similarities begin and end. Okay, whether or not there's a market price for a different amount on live compared to demo or what have you, what matters is that the indicative price is the same, the platform is the same, our system is the same whether you use it live or demo. The only real difference is execution. Okay, that's what this system teaches you in demo. When you first get here as a free member, you want to learn how to execute from seeing the arrow, going to Nadex, picking the proper statement price, and executing either a working order or a market order, and knowing the differences when to do and when not to do. How to read this almost at a glance, right? So if you're a carpenter and this is your first day, right, as a carpenter, maybe you're 6 years old and you're picking up the hammer for the first time. You're probably using two hands and you stand over, you probably envision a little kid using a hammer, right? It takes you time. But a real carpenter can pick up that hammer, place a nail, tap it in, and then send it home. Okay, so with practice and understanding, it becomes more intuitive. I tell people, learn how to read these charts to a point to where you can look at this chart and go, this is a good trade. Now, why is this a good trade here with this arrow? At this particular time with this arrow, why was this a good trade to get into? Because we sort of set really strong levels, if you will. And this is the ability to be able to read the levels very strongly. This set a really good section of level. And there was multiples of them. You could see that the market, when it moved, it adhered to certain levels of that market. You can kind of see right about here. And once you start being able to see this, you can then make these assumptions of movement. And because the arrow kind of gives you another validation to be in that trade, it gives you a good sense of the market. As you can kind of see from this arrow right here, previously from this bar right here, you can see that it created a level here, a level here, a level here, and probably if we went back even a little further, multiple levels. This was another good trade to be in. Now, it got tight at that level, right? So you have to find what works best for you. I would probably used it right about here because it gives me a little bit of more of everything, right? And did it win? Yes, it did, by several pips.
Hey, Max, one of the things that I get asked a lot is, well, the indicative price and the signal, and there's a big difference. I can't get into any trades and things of that, just those type questions. And I said, if you take a look at the Dex Atomic and use the charts, for the most part, you don't necessarily need the signals to a degree. I mean, you would agree with me on that?
Well, the Dex Atomic is different than the signals. The signal system is a different platform altogether than the Dex Atomic. If you're using the Dex Atomic or the Dex TNT, even the TNT 1 hour signals are different than the 1 hour Dex Atomic. And the reason being is that, yes, you do get a process that you get almost like a semi cheat, right? Like here's something that the bot will look at and make an arrangement on, right? And it has a decent amount of success. And you could use the charts as a backup, as if the signal comes out, you can come and see, okay, is there something, this arrow is set to a different pricing structure. Let's go back and look at this one. This is the Auto USD at 12 o'clock for a 1 o'clock expiry, right? So this one just won. The Auto USD. And see, the arrow didn't fire. Listen, the TNT charts are not synced to the TNT signals, the hour signals, right? This uses an AI bot to make relative arguments of momentum, right? Remember, this uses a system on the charts to where it has to use, like it has to spot a trend. Remember, this one uses a trend finding process, and then it waits for negation, and then you get a trade going with. So if this was a buy signal, this one would have probably been sold up or probably been bought up, right? So the TNT signals uses a different mentality of trading than the actual Dex effects, the Dex Atomic system does. So no matter how much you want to use the signals, or hey, I signed up for the Dex effects, or signed up for Dex Atomic, and how do I get access to the signals? Don't worry about the signals. This is a crutch, okay? People are like, why didn't you let the signals be free? Well, because this system will handicap you. I'll be honest with you. The signals are good, but they're not as good as the Dex Atomic system itself, and the mentality and the strategy. The TNT and the Dex Atomic are the same system in a way, the same chart in a way, but the mentality on how we trade it is different.
That's what I was explaining to the guys.
Yeah.
The Dex Atomic is really super powerful. You get into a lot more trades, and it's more of an art form. And then once you get an idea of what structure is,
Chris,
you're pretty much ready to go.
Let me ask, from your point of view, okay? You've been here a while, and you kind of know. You probably know the answer to this. But just as a trader, a question to ask anybody is, what do you think takes more time? Trading the signals, trading the Dex Atomic, or trading the Xenon bot? Which one do you think takes more time?
The most time is the signals.
Yes.
Using the signals. Because once you get your Xedan set up, and you've set in your parameters, then you just spend a little bit of time tweaking.
Right.
But the fastest and the quickest, and for me at any rate, the most what's the word I'm looking for? The easiest and I guess most profitable, I guess is a way of putting it, is using the Dex Atomic, and how simple it really is.
Right.
It takes 5 minutes, set your trade, and then you can go off and do other things if you want.
Well, let me try to. I'm going to try to break this down just a little bit for everybody, and it's really important. Please bear with me, okay? We want to do these shows. We want to do these videos. I want to share with you a mentality here, and it's going to be a little unusual for you, because you're probably used to companies coming to you and be like, hey, you should be using our best product first forward, the one that pays us all the money. You know what I mean? So please bear with me if this sounds kind of unusual, that you're probably not used to hearing. Oop, I just wrote all over my screen. A company talking this way. Okay, so we have a couple different mentalities, right? We have the signals. Now, the signal system, this comes in a daily and an intraday, right, system, okay? And so there's a daily signal. There's a 1 hour TNT, right? It's a 1 hour. There's a 2 hour TNT. Now, TNT stands for the trend and negate trade mentality, okay? And this signal system is pretty powerful, okay? It has a good way of trading it. Now, how much time does it take to trade this? Well, the signals for this comes out 6 times a day. These come out about 20 times a day. They can come out, they can come out 23 hours for an entire day, from Sunday night to Friday afternoon. And these come out about 10 times a day, right? Depending on the trade. So each one has a capability of releasing 10 signals at any one time. Okay, so there's a lot, right? There's a lot of capability of this, right? But it's over 6 times a day, every 4 hours, you're waiting, you're probably looking at trades, you're waiting for that trade to expire, you're probably looking at it. This takes a lot of time to be able to go through and look through, right? The next system that we have is called the Dex Atomic, and the Dex Atomic system is a set of charts. There's 10 charts, okay? And you have a 1 hour and a 2-hour system on the Dex Atomic, okay? So there's 10 charts on the 1 hour and there's 10 charts on the 2 hour. Now we have a 5-minute system, but we're not going to talk about it here because really that is just a supplement system we use to help train people. And if those that take it serious, there's only about 20% of the people that come to us that can actually handle that system and do it for short periods of time to make money. But we're not even going to bother with that at the moment. We're just going to talk about which one of these systems can take the most time and where to best suit all of your, I should say, where do you put all of your work at in this, okay? So from this Dex Atomic, you get these 10 charts, right? So you got 10 charts for this system. Now, on this 1 hour, it can come out to about 23 times a day, and on this one, about 11 times a day, right? It's about right, right? So, and then we have the system called the Xenon system. And the Xenon system is an automated process, okay? It's a bot, it's software, and it connects, it has internally the signals, okay? So all the signals that happen here, that can happen here, can happen through the bot. And then what this does is that it connects to Nadex. Excuse me for my poor handwriting here. I'm writing with a hurt finger. And then so it connects to Nadex. And that connection spots the signal depending on what the variables are that you have set, and it then makes those trades for you on Nadex. Now, out of this, you're probably all gravitating to say, hey, this one's probably the best one. I don't have to really, once I get it all set up, I don't really have to do this. Well, guess what, folks? Most of the people that use the Xenon that are very profitable with it have to look at it every single day and have to validate it and have to make sure that it's working properly. The safety of this system is that the daily signals, the 1 hours and the 2 hours, if you use them all, you're probably going to basically probably be at break even, right? You're probably going to be at break even. If you used all the signals through the system, you're probably about break even, because it definitely trades a lot. And I mean a lot. It could trade a lot. There's a lot of trades that it could trade, right? You're talking about 30 times 6 or 10 times 6. There's 60 trades it could possibly do. Not that you'd want it to do it that way, right? Not that you take all those trades, but this one could really overtrade. And if you had a bad week, you could really hurt your bank. You could really hurt your balance, if you will. The concept here is that you find one pair or one system that really works well, like the 1 hour TNT or 2 hour, or maybe you're just doing dailies and you kind of really dial it down, but you're looking at which one does the best during at what time. We have a lot of data that you'll see. I'm not going to go through and teach you how to set all this up yet. Now, the Dex Atomic itself, you could go to the chart at the top of the hour and spend on a 1 hour, you want to be making a trade within the first 5 minutes. And on a 2 hour, within the first 15 minutes. The 2 hours fire on the even hours. Okay. And so you could theoretically, on the even hours, you could be spending about 15 minutes going through this process and making at least 1 or 2 trades. You only want to have between 1 to 3 trades going per hour at any one time. Now, why would I say this? Well, because the amount of trades is important. You don't really want to have, 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 trades happening on the system, because here's why. If I'm into a Euro USD and also a Euro JPY, if the Euro freaks out, what happens? I could lose both. Let's just say that I'm into a Euro USD and a USD JPY. The common denominator is the USD. Well, if the USD freaks out, what happens? I could lose both. So the concept here is to really limit the amount that you have to do here into a very systematic process of just getting 1 or 2 trades per hour, about 2 hours to 3 hours a day. Now, if I'm working 2 to 3 hours a day, am I sitting at the computer the entire time? The answer is no. I'm only really sitting there for the first 15 minutes, maybe about 20 minutes per hour of these 2 to 3 hours. So in all actuality, I'm only really spending about an hour in my Einstein window of a day. Remember, these fire off 23 hours a day. I'm only really spending about an hour looking for 1 to 3 trades a day. Now, I hope you can kind of understand this one on signals. You're here all day. You'll probably be physically working 3 to 4 hours. On this one, you'll probably be working 2 to 4 hours. On some of you, depending on your neuroses of OCD, right? You're going to be looking at data. There's a lot of data. You can really get mixed up in it. This one here takes about 2 weeks to learn and optimize. The Xenon takes about a week to learn the process, but you got to add on the other 2 weeks of learning the signal system, right? So that's about 3 weeks. I can teach you in 7 days, 1 week, and you could be going live in this system. So which system is the best one for anybody to start with? Is the Dex Atomic. Now here's the part that I was telling you that's going to freak you out. Why wouldn't we give the signals away for free and charge for the Dex Atomic? Because I don't want your money. I know that sounds weird, right? I don't want.
Actually, Max, just had a customer called him up, and he's interested in one of our lifetime subscriptions.
Right.
And I said, well, are you in the Dex Atomic? And he said, well, I want the whole thing. I said, well, I forgot his first name. Anyways, I said, look, go into the Dex Atomic and learn that particular system, and do it for free. And then when you're making money with the Dex Atomic and you get the whole idea, then we'll take a look at what you were just describing here.
Yeah.
If that would help you out. Now, if you think about it, you say, Chris, that's just insane. You're turning away money. Yeah, I suppose so. But in the long run, they appreciate that we're for real.
Yeah.
And just learn how to trade. And then on top of that, if you're making money and you want to go to the donation page and you want to pay it forward that we've helped you out, great. Then we can make a deal. We can make a deal over there.
Right.
So we just want to get people involved in our particular system. And if we can help you, then in the long run, you're going to be able to help us, and you'll tell others too.
Right. Absolutely. Here's something I want to show you why it's so important. When we trade on Nadex, we trade in an amount of contracts, right? And so we're going to talk about just one contract trading 1 to 3 times a day. Okay. So if I trade one contract at a time and one trade, let's just say I trade once a day. Okay. Just once a day. And I'm trading that once a day. And I'm only trading one particular, but I'm waiting for a perfect one. And I hit $25 per every trade. Okay. And I trade 5 days a week. Okay. That's where we're about sitting. We got about 95% success rate. So you're going to figure for every 10 or so, you're going to probably lose one, right? When in the Dex Atomic, this is the Dex Atomic series. Okay. If you're doing it like we suggest, in avoiding news, avoiding the process, avoiding the slips, don't make mistakes. This is when you're really firing it off 95%. Some could trade even higher. There's some that have gone months without losses. Okay. But let's just say that this is your world. You spend about 2 hours a day hunting this $25 every single day. And you do that 5 times a week. That's $125 a week. And let's just say it's a perfect month of 28 days exactly. And so you got 4 weeks, right? How much is that? That's $500 a month. Okay. And let's just say this is all just absolutely super perfect for you. And this is what you do. You become so diligent in trading $25 a day to get to $125 a week to $500 a month. In some of our traders' world, this is it. This is where it all lives at. This is all they need. That's all they have to do. Now, in most cases, most people think, well, in order for me to make $500 more, I need to trade more. But is that the case? No. You've all heard of CVG. If you haven't heard of CVG, if you're watching this right now, and let's make this CVG instead of CUG. But if you haven't heard of CVG, it's consistency plus volume equals goal. If I have this consistently done, if this is consistent for me, why wouldn't, instead of adding volume to the amount of trades, because that takes a lot more work, why don't I just add the amount of contracts? That volume being added here instead of here takes a lot less work, doesn't it? But what does it take? You got to have a little bit more of a balance in your account to be able to do that. How do you get more balance? Well, trade it regular. Trade it if you can afford to do one contract at a time. Trade it till you get to a point where you can do two contracts at a time. I'd say for every $700, right? So here's how you figure it. Whatever you risk, right? This is what you gain. Now on a $25 profit, you're risking 75. Whatever you normally risk, so if this is your risk, you times that by 10, and that's what your balance should be for you to be able to trade, right? This is about 10% risk to reward, or 10% risk value on your money. So you would have to have $750 in your account to trade one contract at a time, not per trade, where you put on 3 or 4 trades. You're trading one contract at a time on the board at any one time. Okay. So if you have 1,500 in your account, you could trade 2 contracts. And you keep going higher and higher, 3,000. You could trade 4 contracts at any one particular time. So that means if you got 2 trades on, you got 2 contracts on one and 2 on the other. Okay. If you have this value set, you're still, once your balance gets higher, you're still only working how many hours a day? About 1. Just to make that $25 a day. But you're not making $25 a day now. Now you've increased your balance well enough that you're doing, say, 4 contracts at a time, and that's $100 a day. Which turns to what? $500 a week to $2,000 a month. But you're only trading 4 contracts. How do I make $4,000 a month? 8 contracts. Now, I wouldn't really go too much higher than 10 and 20 contracts, but that's all depends on your balance and how you deal with it. The reason why I'm going down this road today is that I'm constantly hearing people say, Max, I really just want the signals. It'll make it so much easier for me. You don't know what you don't know yet. And it's tough. It's tough for all of you to kind of sit back and think, well, I wish I could, if I just had that system, it would be so much better. And my answer to all of you is no, it won't. It will never be greener on the other side for you while somebody else is taking care of that lawn. And that's a sad truth, but it's true. You know it. You have to put the hard work in that process in. Chris knows that. Thor, Paul, Vivian, everybody who's been here, who's been around the block with us, knows that you have to put the work in. There's no quick and easy way. Now, the good news is the Atmoic Xedan project. This is the good news. This is the news that's going to kind of flip you out here in a minute, right? Is that what we were saying earlier about not wanting your money is absolutely true. We want Nadex's money, right? We want you to go get the money from Nadex to be able to make it. Now, that's either in the Dex Atomic or the Xenon bot or what have you. When you're making money, we want you to pay us. When you're making money from the system, head over to the donation page, choose recurring or one-time fee or what have you. You'll get on the wall of awesomeness. You'll get into that process. People will know that we're doing well because we can survive by your generosity or by the hard work that you do or by the profit margin we help you create. That's what we want to do. It's in our best interest to make sure that our system works then. Correct? So if you want to know why we give away our best foot forward, well, because that one is the easiest. It teaches you so much. You know what's really frustrating is that all these companies that have all these great programs and systems and platforms and are like, oh, here, come and take this free course and learn how to trade this. But nobody really gives away their prime. Nobody gives away their prime product, do they, Chris?
Absolutely not.
No, it wouldn't behoove them. And you get, I used to get all these naysayers all the time. They're like, well, if you're so successful, why don't you give it away for free? Well, there you go, bitches.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm going to call it like I see it. You wanted it free? Because we put a lot of hard work and energy into these processes. You know how much the Xenon bot costs to get made? You know how many hours of my own personal time and life and times away from my family I put into my network? That'd be like walking into a restaurant and saying, well, you seem to be a pretty successful restaurant. Why don't you give me some free food? It just doesn't make sense. But in our case, we know that you will become successful trading the Dex Atomic. I know that for fact. Why? Well, I'm the owner of the company and I trade the Dex Atomic to make my money. That's how I bring money into my family. That's how Thor does. It's how Paul does. It's how all these other people that are out there in the networks that are really successful, the ones that you see in Discord and all these other places that are making money, you don't hear great tales of riches from the Xenon system itself. It is a powerful network if it's done right, but it takes a lot to work. We're looking to take the Dex Atomic system and be able to file it through the Xenon project. And if we can get that done, we ran into some snafus here with databasing here, being able not to control it as much as we wanted to. So we're working on that. There's been some changes in the world of databasing what we want to database. And I'm having a hard time recreating what I've done before because I wasn't the only one in programming many years ago when we made our first database for the Dex signals. So I'm battling here. So I'm having to reteach myself different languages of database. But I'll get it. And the people I've helped employ to get it, we're marching down there. We have some great people who've helped us already from on the wall awesomeness that have helped us, from Jeffrey Giles, Jason Clark, Anita Rose, Victor S.A., Doug McDonald, Ron Figger, Jeff Vandenberg, Timothy O'Neill, Miles Berlin, and Jeff Hibbett. You guys have really helped us get to a point of getting where we're at to now, but we need more help. I need to employ one more database engineer, a programmer, to come on and help us alleviate this issue, because the way TradingView talks to our database is different than what we have right now for our signals. They talk differently. And that's what I need help with. We're still plugging away. We still have one more series after this. Once we get it to a database, we got to get it to the Xenon. And that's where Matt Owens, our other programmer for the Xenon, comes in. And once we have it there, we're in the home stretch. And why is it so important for us to get the Dex Atomic in that system? Well, holy crap. Could you imagine having a 95% success rate on something that can spot the different levels? Maybe some of you haven't seen that just yet. Let me pop up one of these here. And so you can see what I'm talking about. This has my Xenon process, sorry, it has, excuse me for a second, it has my Dex Atomic alert system on it. Not sure why it's not showing there. Oh, that's why, because it's all the way down here. It's been a while since I've opened it up here on TradingView. So you remember those places that I was telling you that before, you got to go in and you got to learn how to spot the system. LUD, USD. Let me 15-minute. Let's go to a 5-minute. To check this out. This system right here, let me go back over to Dex Atomic so you see how wild this is. We're going to go to the 1 hour chart, which is a 5-minute chart, 1 hour trading chart on a 5-minute chart. And look at this, okay? You see, this is where I would go. If I was just looking at this chart right now, if I was just looking at this chart right now and I wanted to make a decision at this point to come in and do a trade, this is the area that I would go right there. That's the area I would go. Why? Because I have this little bramble here. I have a couple of touches here. I have one right here for a head and shoulders. We teach you how to look at these and how to spot these head and shoulders. Okay. And I have one here and one here. Now, if I were to go back further, you'd see it runs right through the gambit of this as well. And this is sitting at 64.59. Now watch this. 64.59 automatic. Do you see that? Look at that. Is that incredible? It looks at that line automatically. And our system will spot that line. And it knows that line when the signal happens. That's the line it'll go to. And it'll send an alert. It's pretty wild, right? So let me tell you, you have an awesome opportunity to be a part of this by helping us develop this process. If you're free, if you're here for free, you won't get this particular system. There is a process that I want you to go and make money, get money in your hands in order so you can save enough money, making the money through the Dex Atomic system so you could buy this program. I can't give this one away for free. Why? Because there's too many people involved and there's too many things involved with this program. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Because in order for you to be able to really take charge of this process and of becoming profitable in trading, is that you're going to eventually need the mechanics here. This is what we're all striving to get to. We all want to get out of the chair. That's why. We all want to set and forget something. I understand that. But this system, this program, is what's going to take us to that level. And I need all of your help. I'm helping you get into the Dex Atomic, give it to you for free. If you want to come back and donate to this level, I really appreciate it. It would really help us out. So if you can afford it, don't take bread out of your jar, okay? Don't take the rent off the table. But if you got some extra disposable cash, great. Not that anybody has that. But if you can afford to do it, do it. If you can't, stay the course. Go earn it. Go make it from Nadex, and then come back and help. All right. That's about all I got. Chris, you got anything to throw at them?
Yeah, just what you were describing is important because people, they get scared, and especially they're in their, they get a good feel for the demo, and then they're going to go live. But what you were just describing with the art form, as far as being able to determine what structure is, what it's doing now with the Xedan project is it's taking that art form and making it automatic.
Yeah.
And so once you have an understanding of the Dex Atomic, and when it comes out in TradingView, then you have the charts and you have the Xedan. It really gives you a confidence booster, right? It's an art form still, but it just verifies what you already know.
Yes.
And it does it automatically and sends out a signal on top of it.
And you're absolutely right. The ideals of the network itself is it just validates everything you're doing. But you should go in and learn it. That's what I tell people. Go learn the signals before you hit Xenon, so you know it's firing off. You know how many times I hear people say about the Dex daily signals, well, by the time I get to look at the trade, it's already moved past. Yes, it is already moved past, because it is what we call a pullback trade. We want it to go past the level and pull back to a certain level so it gets a working order bought and it goes back on its continuous path. So take the time, do the training, get in the mentality, get into the strategy, know what it is. Trust me, if you get in and start trading, the process, you will immediately see the power of support and resistance, the power of price action. And once you see those, you can't unsee them ever in any chart. By the way, the other allure of the Xenon system with the Dex Atomic is that it's not just Forex binaries. It is now the binary for commodities, indices, options. It's anything that has I like usually using the Wall Street 30. It's anything that has a chart to it that we can apply to it that's on Nadex. And there's even ways that we can use these fundamentals to trade in direct trading as well. So with stop losses and take profits and stuff like that. So there's processes everywhere for the future. Okay. So hopefully this all finds you well in this world with COVID happening and all the nonsense that we're going through. And if there's anything that we can do to help along the way to help you within training, we're releasing some pretty cool tools. Also in the Facebook group, I have the ability to put some training modules as well to help you along your way. But there should be a tremendous amount of information on all of our training on the Dex Atomic system. You should be in the training. If you have any questions in this, make sure you go through them all. And if you're downloading the Xenon, if you're going straight to the Xenon process, please know, okay, that you have to go through training. Yes, you can download and you can get to the download, okay, but you've got to do the training. Why? Because the Xenon activation code's in the training. You can't do anything else until you actually sign the NDA. Okay, so make sure you go through that to sign that. That's what activates your system. All right. I'm Max Farrow. This is DexFXMarkets.com. And with Chris Gagne, we both appreciate your time today and look forward to seeing you inside. And as always, live well.